A 7-star Guardian to all Paragon Plus players.
There's no way that we just got ourselves a 7-star Guardian for free. And yes, I already took him to rank 2, but nah, there's no way, man. This was literally my reaction when I heard that we're getting him for free, but now he's finally here. And since we all got him for free, I figured this would be the best time to make this video. Guardian is not a new champion to the contest at all, and he's a champion that is pretty well respected when it comes to the community, having a very solid kit as well as a lot of damage output. He definitely was a more slept on champion before, but now that we all have him, yeah, we're gonna be seeing him a lot. And like we always do with these kinds of videos, let's actually go over all of his abilities first, and then later on discuss why you should play him. Guardian cannot land critical hits. Instead, he inflicts an instant shock, dealing energy damage based on the critical damage rating. He can also trigger the parry mastery against non-contact attacks, and while all of his abilities are below 100% ability accuracy for 3 or more seconds, he inflicts a shock debuff, dealing a certain amount of energy damage per second until it is restored, and this ability scales with base attack only and cannot be affected by ability accuracy. As for his armor ups, he starts each fight with an indefinite armor up buff, increasing his armor rating by a certain amount, and if this buff is removed for any reason, it'll actually return after 14 seconds. While he has an armor up buff, well-timed blocks against special attacks will be granted a 100% chance to be a perfect block lasting for 0.5 seconds, and each time he triggers this perfect block, he'll be granted 10% of a bar of power. As for his force field charges, they last indefinitely up until he has 3 of them, and any more after that will actually last for 22 seconds. He gains 1 force field charge every 12 seconds, and if he has an armor up buff, he gains a plus 15% chance per force field charge to auto block all hits in an opponent's special attack. This gains an additional 15% chance against mutant champions, and the max chance for this auto block is 75%, and it is also considered a well-timed block. Guardian can consume 1 of his force field charges to block unblockable special attacks against mutant champions. On his 4th light attack, he can consume 2 of these to inflict a power drain, removing 20% of the opponent's current power. And as for his heavy attack, the first hit consumes 1 of these force field charges to gain an armor up buff, increasing armor rating by a certain amount for 15 seconds. But moving on to his special attacks, the special 1. After activation, he gains 3 force field charges, and the last hit inflicts a taunt debuff for 6 seconds, which reduces their attack rating by 40% and increases the chance for them activating their special attacks by 70%. The special 2. The first hit consumes all of his force field charges, increasing the attack rating of the special attack by a certain amount for each of these charges that were removed, and while he has 3 or more force field charges, he consumes 1 armor up buff to inflict a shock debuff, dealing a certain amount of energy damage over 3 seconds, and this attack cannot be evaded by mutant champions. And last but not least, the special 3. On activation, he'll gain 6 indefinite force field charges, and the attack will inflict a shock debuff, dealing a certain amount of energy damage over 20 seconds. But let's actually move over to his awakened ability. While he has an armor up effect, he gains an additional amount of block proficiency, energy resistance, bleed resistance, as well as critical damage resistance. And that is pretty much it for all of his abilities. A very simple kit with a little bit of utility mixed in to give us the gift that is known as Guardian. But anyways, onto this man's attire, and
oh brother, this guy.
there's not much to it, is there? The design is very straightforward, red, white, and yellow, and that's literally it. Like, what? I kinda do like the aura that's sort of floating around his outline and stuff. Other than the fact that he has no eyeballs, yeah, that's it. A pretty good design, but it's nothing special at all. And for what it's worth, I'll actually be giving this a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 4, I'm not too sure. But anyways, on to the topic of why you should play him. Starting off with the most obvious point, of course, damage. The damage that Guardian can do is kinda not normal once you get him ramped up. And yes, he sort of is a ramp up champion where you want to spam special 1s or special 3s and then build up to the SP2 to then unleash all the damage. The damage itself is very good when it comes to short fights. You pretty much just need to throw one SP1 or even just 2 and then go for the SP2. And in longer fights, you pretty much just want to spam the SP3s and then throw the SP2, and the numbers you'll be seeing, they'll always be shocking. Another reason as to why you should use him, of course, is his utility. He's definitely not the most utility focused champion out there, but once you actually get this dude awakened, he can actually do a lot for you. Being able to not take any bleed or energy damage at all really does help for making him take a lot of more fights, but if yours is pretty much unawakened like mine, then it's not really that big of a deal. He'll still be able to parry non-contact attacks, he'll still be able to perfect block special attacks, and above all, he'll still be able to power drain the opponent's power. Of course, when you compare it to a champion like Onslaught, it's not that much, but I honestly feel like these abilities alone make him good enough. But most importantly, the damage. And that is pretty much it for Guardian. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of him. Make sure to join my Discord group, the link will be down in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!
Charger, impecable. Y nos vemos.